everyone, welcome back to the Tiny Show in Malarkey. I'm Tiny. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so you can see videos like this every day. Today's pajama day on the Tiny Show. We're just chilling in our pajamas.
Oh yeah.
You chilling, Patty?
We're chill. Boom. Handshake.
Right.
Bro handshake.
Bro handshake. Bros.
Yeah.
Alright, let's jump right in. So today's quote of the day, which is on our new board.
Super. I should hug you, sis. Thank you.
Alright, so today's quote is called Bravery. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the busyness of the little minds to shrink, but they whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves their conduct will pursue the principles unto death. From Thomas Paine. Oh, Thomas Paine wrote something called Common Sense in old times when we were just founding the United States of America. He wrote something called Common Sense, and back then there were Federalists and Anti-Federalists. So you know how we have our Constitution? The Federalists wanted the Constitution, but the Anti-Federalists didn't. So Thomas Paine wrote a pamphlet that explained why the points of what was happening then. That's just something that I was reminded of just now. Next up is our we have our question of the day.
Today's starter OG.
Today's question of the day: how do you feel about growing up?
No.
No?
No.
Well, I'm excited to drive a car when I grow up.
Yeah, actually I am excited.
I want to drive a VW bus, but that's probably not going to happen, so I've set my sights on a VW bug.
That's so fun.
Alright, next up we have our word of the day. What's today's word of the day?
Oh, God.
Humble is today's word of the day. It is an adjective which means modest, plain, and simple. It's like a bowl of simple soup for dinner. It's used in 18.9% of stories.
Whoa, that's the highest we've gotten so far.
I know. And some synonyms are modest, plain, and simple. And some word pairs are a humble meal, a humble offering, or a humble abode. Patty, do you want to make a sentence using the word humble?
The boy acted humble, for he did not have much and cared for everyone.
Aw, that's cute.
That's the most I can think of.
You know, who else can make a sentence using the word humble? Charlotte Bronte, who wrote Jane Eyre, she said...
Jane Eyre.
What?
Jane Eyre.
Jane Eyre. A strange place was this humble kitchen for such occupants. Who were they? They could not be the daughters of the elderly person at the table, or she looked like a rustic, and they were all a delicacy and cultivation. So, what's your favorite word? Comment below. And then our final part of this segment is our Would You Rather section. All right, Patty, would you rather be shipwrecked in the Bermuda Triangle or crash landed in the Grand Canyon?
Crash landed in the Grand Canyon. It's because there's more people there. I mean, like, who are gonna signal in the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah,
there's people in the Grand Canyon.
But crashing a plane is more dangerous. But when you're underwater, you could, like, get hurt by the water. Or sharks. Yeah, and it's the Bermuda Triangle. Weird stuff happens over there. Alright, second one. Would you rather discover a thumb in your mac and cheese?
Ew.
Or a toe in your root beer float?
Oh. Thumb in your mac and cheese. It's because, like, if you find a toe in your root beer float, like, you probably won't see it
Would
or
it float?
feel it until it's too late.
Would it float?
But it would be, like, covered with all that foam, and ice cream wouldn't see it. But a thumb in your mac and cheese, like, it's easily spotted. There's nothing to cover it, except for, like, layers of it.
I would rather find a toe in my root beer float Because I don't even like root beer floats. So I wouldn't even be drinking it in the first place. And I love mac and cheese, so I wouldn't want to discover thumb in my mac and cheese, so this is a pretty easy question for me. All right,
Next segment.
it's time for our next segment, our ASL segment.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my ASL segment. Before we sweep right into our new letter for today, let's review the letters we've already done. First, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Sorry, Mom is signaling me like where to go. I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and today's new letter, which is Q, you kind of make an OK symbol, but don't put your fingers up. Don't put your fingers up. And then you make each finger straight, kind of like you're making an equal symbol. And then turn that equal symbol to the side, like this.
Do it one more time.
Make an OK symbol, but don't put your fingers up. Then you straighten out your fingers, so kind of make an equal symbol. Then flip that equal symbol upside down, and then you have a Q. Let's jump right into our next segment.
All right, now it's time for our fast fact segment.
Damn!
The map. All right,
The map. The map.
I'm just going to disappear from the camera for a minute. I'm back, and I brought the map.
They can probably see you.
All right, Patty, stand up.
Can you see me something?
So we have to start the stool.
All right. So we always start with our state of the day. And so today's state is Vermont. So let's learn some facts about Vermont. Its capital is Montpelier. Its nickname is the Green Mountain State. It's been a state since March 4th, 1791. And its state bird is the hermit thrush. Its state flower is the red clover. I didn't know there were red clovers.
Huh.
And its motto is freedom and unity.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good motto. Some quick facts. Rudyard Kipling wrote The Jungle Book in 1894 into 1895 while living in Brattleboro, Vermont. That's really cool.
Brattleboro.
Brattleboro. That's what I said. When the French explorer Champlain first saw the land that would become Vermont, he called it Les Monts Verts, the Green Mountains.
Hey, I know what word it is because we take French. We can understand language now.
The two words were later combined to form Vermont. And Vermont was the first state admitted to the Union following the original 13 colonies. So we had the original 13 colonies, and then came Vermont, the 14th state.
The outcasts.
All right, so let's just plop the flag in for Vermont. Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome. It's ironic because it's also green on the map.
Verde. Vert. All right, and next up we have our landmark of the day.
Aperture.
If you've seen any of these landmarks, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. So today's landmark of the
Explain
day
that your
is...
fingers are dirty from paint.
Oh yeah, so I'm not a hooligan. My fingers aren't just dirty and messy. I've been painting a lot, and it's really hard to get paint off your fingers, so that's just why. And so, the Golden Gate Bridge is our landmark for the day. It's a suspension bridge, and it's painted international orange. This graceful bridge can be seen through the fog that sometimes fills the Golden Gate. The opening into San Francisco Bay from the Pacific Ocean is 8,981 feet long. That's really long.
That's a lot of mud.
I know. And 746 feet tall. I just took off my glasses because of the glare of the screen. You can see the screen in the lens of my glasses, so I just took them off. It's 90 feet wide, and it holds 6 lanes of traffic. So you know how you drive on the road, and you can see, you like drive in like one lane, and then there's a lane next to you. This bridge holds 6 of those.
Whoa. Not expecting that progress.
When it was completed in 1937, it had the longest span of any suspension bridge in the world. Wow! Pretty historic place, if I do say so myself. But it's not actually golden, it's international orange. All right, next up is our president of the day. Who could it be?
John Kennedy.
Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president. He was known as Honest Abe and the Great Emancipator. His vice presidents were Hannibal Hamlin and Andrew Johnson. His party was Republican, and he represented the state of Illinois. He was born February 12, 1809, and he died April 15, 1865. He was a lawyer, and he was self-taught in law. That's really cool. And so he was married to Mary Todd Lincoln. And his facts and achievements, what could he have done? He's a great president, so. Oh, that's just my opinion. Yeah.
Opinions, man.
He was the first Republican president. And 6 weeks into his first term, attack on Fort Sumter begins the war between the states, the Civil War.
Confederate and the Union.
He issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed slaves. That's a good proclamation. Woo! So all the slaves were free because of Abraham Lincoln, which is great. He was assassinated at the start of his second term. Yeah, everybody knows the story. He passed. So he went to watch a show in the theater, and there was a bad man in there, and he attacked President Lincoln, and sadly, President Lincoln died. So, but he was a great president, and we can remember him for that. And his portrait is on the $5 bill and the penny. On his face is carved on Mount Rushmore, and he was the tallest president of 6'4". I'll never be that tall.
I'll probably be that tall.
Yeah, Patty will probably be pretty tall. And then next up we have our space fact of the day. Today it's a comet. Ooh, that's real pretty. And a comet is basically a dirty snowball. So when you're out playing in the snow and you get some dirt on the snow, that's basically what a comet is, a dirty snowball. A comet trails through the sky, but it is not a meteor. Comets are made of large chunks of ice, rocks, and dust. Scientists believe that many come from the farthest edges of the solar system, orbiting the sun in long elliptical paths. As a comet passes near the sun, its nucleus center heats up and sends out a gaseous flare, creating the distinctive tail we see from Earth. So that tail right there is basically melting ice and dust. It has a very long tail. A comet's tail can be 6 million miles long. So I can run a mile in about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. But this thing, 6 million miles. So if you can figure out how long it would take me to run 6 million miles, comment that below. And some comets return to within our view every 75 years or so, such as Halley's Comet. Others, like Comet Hale-Bopp, only pass overhead every 2,537 years. And comets have been sighted for hundreds of years. There are Chinese records of Halley's Comet going all the way back to 245 BC. So a lot of comets are old. That's crazy. And next up we have our animal of the day. Today it's the zebra. And it lives in the grasslands, savannas, and woodlands and scrublands of eastern, central, southern Africa. Its height at the shoulder is 3.5 to 5 feet. It weighs 440 to 990 pounds, and its top speed is 40 miles per hour. So every hour, it can run 40 miles. That's super fast. That's like the speed, that's faster than a car. And it's a zebra. It lives about 25 years, its group is called a herd of zebras, and this one's for Patty. Its babies are called foals. Foals.
How's that for me?
Because Patty's always complaining about how every animal baby is called a calf or a puppy. And so these...
It's a calf or bull or something like that.
Yeah. And so these ones are called foals. And that's different than a lot of what we've seen so far. Zebras belong to the horse family. I can see that. They kind of do look like a striped horse. And zebras form family groups made up of a stallion, a male, and several females who stay together for life. So they're all best buddies, and they stay together forever. That's super cool. And zebras sometimes greet each other by resting their heads on each other's back. Aw, that's so cute. And now it's time for our final fast fact. Our painting of the day, which I'm getting right now. I've just been down to get it.
I am a zebra.
And so today's painting of the day, ooh, wow. It's a Salvador Dali painting, because you can see the melting clock.
It's called melting clocks.
Salvador Dali was famous for making his, like, weird, like, warped paintings. And he made a bunch of melted clocks. It's called The Persistence of Memory, painted by Salvador Dali in 1931. It was painted in Port Liga in Spain, and it's made of oil paint on a canvas. You can see it at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, USA. Yes. And you can see some of his art in the Salvador Dali Museum in Tampa. That's right. He has his own museum. That's pretty cool. This strange landscape looks like something out of a dream, which is just what Dali intended. He called his paintings hand-painted dream photographs. My dreams are pretty weird, so I guess this does sum it up. Look out for the weird sleeping figure, which is actually a distorted portrait of Dali. The watch lying on it echoes the shape of Dali's long, curly mustache.
Oh, can I see?
Huh.
Where?
So that is supposed to represent a sleeping person.
Oh yeah, I see it. Like, here, look.
And
So
the melting
like the
clock
head?
is supposed to represent his mustache.
Huh.
And did you know, Dali said that the melting watches in this painting were inspired by melting cheese. That's really interesting. So his famous melting clocks were inspired by cheese. That's really interesting. Well, it's now time for our next segment. All right, next up is our writing and drawing segment of the Tiny Show. So what do we have in store for us today? It looks like today's drawing theme is, if you lived on a deserted island, what would it look like? So you did draw that. Patty, did you draw it?
No.
I forgot to draw it too.
Oh, we're both.
But I did.
I thought you would like blame me for like not drawing it.
Nah, I did the writing though. But let's describe it, Patty. If you lived on a deserted island, what would it look like?
It would have like, it'd be kind of like a little snapshot, like a little snapshot of kind of the world. It'd have like a few landmarks, like main landmarks, a few stores, and like a few neighborhoods.
On a deserted island.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's obviously a big one. Like,
my deserted island.
A deserted island doesn't have neighborhoods.
My deserted island would be party all day, every day. We have disco balls hanging from the palm trees. We got a dance floor laid out on the island floor. We got a rescue helicopter coming in a few hours, so it's fine. But we got like super lit strobe lights that are flashing, and we're all dancing to like super hip old 60s music, and we're going like this, doing the dance move, and we're all dancing, and it's so great.
This is not a deserted island.
I know, we got a rescue helicopter coming in a few hours.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm doing fine on my deserted island.
whoa!
But
I've just been blasted. Awesome.
in theme of the deserted island, our writing prompt is, would you rather live on a deserted island or a crowded city?
I'd do a deserted island because
Why?
like big city with like a bunch of germs that can spread like the coronavirus now. Like it's a lot in big cities like New York. So I wouldn't want like all that germs passing around. Plus I kinda like making my own shelter. I'm kinda like think that'd be cool.
Yeah, until you get
Yeah.
hungry. What are you gonna do when you get hungry,
Hunt
Patty?
for food.
You don't eat berries.
Exactly.
Hunt for pigs.
How are you gonna know which ones are? How are you gonna cook it, Patty? Do you know how to start a fire? Are you a Boy Scout?
No, I have no idea how to start a fire.
Patty,
I know like
let
take
me
like
just
a
tell you
log
right
and
now.
like do
If
that.
we ever get stranded on a deserted island, and I have to choose one person to be on the deserted island with me, it would be. I'm sorry, but you are the least resourceful person in this room.
Who would it be?
Probably Dad. I mean,
Well, yeah.
Dad's like a wilderness guy. He knows
Yeah.
things. Yeah, right, Dad?
It doesn't say you can't bring supplies.
Oh.
Like you could like bring like a whole like pantry of food and stuff, like a tent. It doesn't say if like there's supplies.
Deserted
or things
island. It
I-
implies you bring nothing and you get deserted there.
I'm playing a game right now where
No, it's not saying you're being marooned there.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I'm playing a game right now called Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh
Where
yeah.
you start with a deserted island, and you have to build up your island. You get shops and townspeople, and my island right now is looking pretty great, if I do say so myself.
Yes, we all live in a gaming world. Okay.
And I'm playing.
Well,
Next
I
segment.
didn't get to read mine,
Oh, okay, read
and I
it.
actually wrote it.
Okay, read it.
I would rather live on a deserted island. Deserted islands are peaceful, and no one is there to bother you. In a crowded city, it is dirty and there's no room for nature or beauty. You're
Central
constantly being pushed around, and
Fair enough.
everywhere you look, it's grey and dystopian.
Nope.
On a deserted island, it's just you, land, and sea. You can spend your days laying on the sand and catching fish and soaking up the sun.
Gosh, that sounds boring.
Well, I mean, my deserted island is a party, so I wouldn't say my deserted island is boring. Next segment. Go! Alright. So, sadly, I have some announcements.
No.
We've reached the last segment of the show.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. And so, I won't see you guys again until tomorrow.
No.
But we still have this last segment. So, let's start with everybody's favorite.
Book of why?
Book of Why.
Why is everyone's favorite? That's a question you can answer.
Do you want to know why it's everybody's favorite?
Yes.
Because you're not reading it. I'm just kidding. Everyone loves you, Patty. Alright. Why were animals sent into space before humans? Oh my
Because
God.
no one gives a hoot about animals.
Is the wrong answer.
I give a hoot about animals. Save the whales. The first Earthling to orbit our planet was just 2 years old and plucked from the streets of Moscow barely more than a week before her historic launch. Her name was Laika. She was a terrier mutt and considered a good dog by everyone who met her. Before the first manned space flights in the 1960s, scientists weren't sure if humans could survive a rocket into Earth orbit, where astronauts would experience weightlessness and higher levels of radiation. So they sent test flights crewed by a small zoo's worth of animals: fruit flies, monkeys, mice, and dogs. Laika's 1957 mission paved the way for the first manned space flight by Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin 4 years later. So, because we didn't know if humans would survive in space, so we decided to send an animal to test it out. And Laika's mission made that possible. So wherever you are, Laika, you're a good dog. Hope you're eating dog treats in heaven now. Alright. An eyelash in my eye. Next up, we have our final two.
Gagarin.
What? There's so many weird words and weird names, which I guess I can't complain about weird names because I have a weird name.
So do I.
All right.
I had play practice once, and they had to put a pronunciation thing on my name tag.
I have 7 teachers. How do you think I feel on the first day of school when I have to teach 7 teachers my first name and my last name?
Well, it's my last name too.
Okay, moving
7
on.
teachers. It took my math teacher 2 weeks. But that's not a bad thing. It's persistence. Patty. Knock knock.
Who art thou?
Banana.
Who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
Yeah. Kind of am.
Alright.
Orange happy ball.
Alright, and finally we have our weird but true sports edition. Yeah! Yeah! It's too late for me to yell. Alright. Alright. The Aquatic Center built for the 2012 London Olympics has a stingray-shaped roof. Kite fighting is a national sport in Thailand. What? Kite fighting.
Do they have like knives tied on to the kites and they're thrown into the air?
No, each kite is individually trained in kickboxing, so they can
Like us.
duke it up in the air.
Yeah.
Alright, speed brick breaker Kevin Taylor smashed 584 cement bricks in less than a minute using only his hands.
Whoa, that guy needs to chill.
You need some lotion.
Bro.
Villagers in 5th century Italy played tennis with their bare hands.
Ooh.
Villagers in 5th century Italy.
Called handball.
And most concrete patio blocks broken in a single strike of the elbow. So this person broke this many cinder block, concrete patio blocks in one strike of their elbow. How many was it? 17. 17 patio blocks broken by their elbow all at once.
Don't want to get in the fight with that guy.
No, you don't. But thanks for watching. Remember to check in tomorrow and like, share, and subscribe so you can see videos like this